Hello and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian, and for returning subscribers, welcome back, Soul Nation. Thanks for coming and checking out this video. This is going to be we got to preface this with rumor and speculation time. Obviously, things are heating up in the world of Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, so to speak. So let's go ahead and dive into the article, and then we'll come back and discuss it and kind of get your thoughts as well as it relates to Game Pass and the potential of it existing on the Nintendo Switch. So first things first, as we always do, check the link in the description of this video so you can go check out the article for yourself. But this is coming from Nintendo Life. Rumor is something going on between Microsoft and Nintendo. Friendship ended with Sony. Now Nintendo is my new best friend. So it says, almost 2 months ago, Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, appeared on a Microsoft stream, and in that stream he had a shelf. What might not sound like a big deal, but in the past, Phil's used his shelves to tease and even coyly reveal various Xbox surprises, like the Xbox Series S, which he had on his bookshelf long before the official reveal. Bethesda big dog Todd Howard took a page out of Phil's book back in September 2020, teasing that a new Indiana Jones game with a relic on his shelf. So when Phil appeared on his stream, eagle-eyed investigator fans scoured his shelves for anything that they can find, and 2 items stood out: a Kojima Productions Luton figure and a Nintendo Switch. At the time, we said nothing, but we're not able or about to spin a whole news piece out of a video game company boss enjoying video games of other companies. But at the same as time passed, the Switch started to seem like maybe it was a hint too. You can see that here from the image itself. You got the Nintendo Switch, you got all kinds of other video game memorabilia. We already also covered the Kojima thing, and especially as a rumor, but we'll come back more to that here in a little bit. So in a recent podcast for GamesBeat, journalist Jeff Grubb stated that pretty much everything on Phil's shelves meant something, including the Nintendo Switch. Likewise, a well-known and, according to Reddit, semi-reputable leaker named Sheffield Ed said that the cat seems to be out of the bag regarding Nintendo and Xbox, and that we would hear more about it in autumn. It's still a rumor, of course, but evidence is mounting that Phil was indeed hinting at something. So you can see here the tweet from Sheffield. I'm probably butchering it, but it is what it is. So, just saying that Xbox and Nintendo are working together could mean anything. Master Chief in Smash, Xbox Game Pass on Switch, a hybrid Nintendo Xbox console named the Xbox Series N, a new Zelda and set in the world of Halo, or maybe Microsoft is just willing to sell Rare back to Nintendo and we'll finally get a new Banjo-Kazooie. So, now that everybody's hopes up prematurely, but what do you think about potential Xbox-Nintendo collab would be? And if you could have your most unlikely wish, what would you hope beyond all hopes that it would be? So here we are. Obviously still rumor and speculation, but there's an important theme marching on in all of this. Now, obviously when we talk about or Smash, like Banjo-Kazooie, Halo, there's all kinds of possibilities, but the business level possibility of Xbox Game Pass on Nintendo Switch is the most intriguing and would also be another earth-shattering announcement if it proves to be true. Let me be clear here, at least from my perspective, Microsoft needs Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't need Microsoft, but these two pairing up, obviously the relationship has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger over these past years. So, what would that look like? How could that change the landscape? First and foremost, I think I'd go buy a couple more Switches. If I could play my Xbox games via Xbox, xCloud, Game Pass, and the like, being able to play your entire catalog on a Nintendo Switch and then being able to pick that up on PC, on mobile, on your TV, like that in and of itself is such a game changer. In my opinion, the Nintendo Switch, especially the Lite, is perhaps one of the best handhelds that I've ever experienced in my life. I do have both a Lite and a base Nintendo, which is fine, but I guess the OG Switch model. And the only thing that I can think of when it comes down to it is, man, I really wish that I had more access to games. Now, Nintendo over in Japan has been testing out various cloud options with various games. And this would signal a closing of a partnership, something really bringing these two companies closer together. Now, I put out a video, I think a couple of months back, talking about the possibility of like Nintendo, square-enix, like Sega, who could acquire them. Basically, Microsoft, Google, Amazon could definitely acquire all those companies. And yes, they could acquire Nintendo, but Nintendo could easily fight them off to the point where it doesn't make a lot of sense to just basically be burning money from a hostile takeover. So what's the other option here? Well, you don't have to buy Nintendo. You don't have to by these companies. You can actually do what Nintendo does in terms of its business kind of acumen, its model, is what it does is it kind of does these partnership deals with companies. Like they buy some of this company, that company buys some of them. They're kind of in it together. So Nintendo isn't wholly controlled or would be controlled by Microsoft. In fact, I would venture to bet Microsoft is offering stock and in that regards to Nintendo as a part of this deal. Again, I don't think Nintendo needs Microsoft, but Microsoft needs Nintendo. And here's what I mean by this. Phil Spencer said numerous times, because when you look at the categories of games, and especially the stigma around Xbox, you see the bro shooters, like you have a lot of the Gears of War and the Halos. Well, that's what a lot of people currently still associate the brand with. Phil Spencer's talked numerous times about targeting that E through teen market as well, especially when it comes to Game Pass. They've built a behemoth with Game Pass. One of the things that you're going to see, and Microsoft has no qualms about spending at this point, but they have to bring in more content. They can bring in that more content through exclusive partnerships, or they can build that in through purchase and acquisitions. I think essentially what we'll be seeing of both. If this rumor proves to be true, Game Pass on Switch would be a win for all gamers around the world. But at the same time, if I was a Sony fan, that would also be very concerning. Nintendo has dominated in Japan. Game Pass is growing steadily and changing the narrative when it comes to video games. And then you couple that with the Phil Spencer's own phrase, these are exclusive games for wherever Game Pass is. Wherever Game Pass is. We know it's coming to TV. We know it's on phones. I'm still waiting for it to come to the PC. And one of the biggest issues we see is the discrepancy between PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass. But then the question would remain, if Game Pass comes to Switch, like, does that mean Nintendo games are going to be showing up in Game Pass? I could only personally hope for that in that experience, because when I think about it, I love my Nintendo. I love my Nintendo games, but I would love my Nintendo games even more if they were on a strong network backend. When I play Smash and it lags out, when I can't invite my friends easily into the games that I can play on Switch, like, it's just frustrating because it feels like we've figured this out. Like, the problem has been solved, and we've already heard rumors in the past of even Xbox Live coming to Nintendo Switch, but obviously we haven't seen anything come to light as of yet. So that's going to be my thoughts here on this. I think I think chances are this could be pretty true. Like, I at the end of the day, I could see that this is something that with enough money can absolutely happen. And the question is that does Nintendo have the same vision of the future that Microsoft has? And those two pairing up would be a juggernaut shift. We think the Bethesda deal was big. This would be bigger. And at the same time, it doesn't have to come with the acquisition of Nintendo. Most likely, Nintendo definitely being the winner here when it comes to what Microsoft would be willing to offer to be able to put that on its platform. So the question to you that I have would be, at the end of the day, if this is true and Game Pass comes to Switch, do you think that this is more pressure on Sony to allow Game Pass on PlayStation? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think, and we can have that conversation. But I'm going to wrap up, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you've had a fantastic time with this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit that dislike button. And if you do hit the either button, just let me know that you did. That way I can thank you, or I can kind of inquire a little bit more as to what you didn't like about the video. I'm trying a couple of different things with the format of the style, so hopefully you guys enjoy the content here. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button. Come back for more. But for Ginger Prime, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a fantastic day. I hope to see you soon, but until then, take care. This video is sponsored by me, Ginger Prime. Hopefully you'll check out my podcast channel, Ginger Gaming Radio, which we have lots of guests, lots of great conversations, and even more highlights. Links are in the description below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.